Welcome back, Endgame family. It is draft time, as always. Got some best ball mania on tap. That's right. It's the big one. Well, okay, I guess technically the big dog would be the big one, right? But this is the actual big one because even though the entry is only $25, the prize pool is, I'd say, fairly significant. This is where all the serious best ball drafters and, of course, you, the very knowledgeable Endgame community, come in and we try to take it all. And we're going to try to do even better than the last one because that's the goal, right? Keep getting better, keep drafting, keep putting some entries in there. It just takes one, right? All it takes is one really good and, let's face it, really lucky draft, and that's it. You could be a millionaire. So Best Ball Mania 6 on Underdog. If you don't know what Underdog is, shame on you, but join Underdog now. Download the app, go to underdogfantasy.com. And if you're signing for the very first time, so you can get in on some best ball action, you need to be sure before you check out, you use code ENDGAME because it gets you bonus cash up to $1,000 in your first deposit. Lots of bonus cash to play with for free or your first draft or pick 'em or whatever. And do a pick 'em right away because you get a free pick as soon as you sign up using code ENDGAME. You get special picks. There's always promos. And along those lines, also, any of you who are NBA fans, or let's face it, you don't really have to be a fan, you are aware that the NBA finals are coming up. Before the series starts, get on this. It's called the Extender. And so this is a new deal they've got here. And basically, the longer the series goes, the bigger the boosts, as it says there. And you can see exponentially increases there. So just go ahead and check it out right now. I'm not going to break down all the details, but you can see what it has going on there. Go to Underdog, check out all the specials they have. And if you want to draft with us, get to the lobby because we're ready.
Ready.
Chris, you ready for another BBM?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
And remember, also, got to clarify this as opposed to last year. You know, there's fast drafts, there's slow drafts. Slow is 8 hours per pick. Nice and slow, 30 seconds, but also now this year, 20 seconds per pick. We're not going to mess around. We're doing the 20 seconds. I think it defaults to that. Am I right? That's usually what it comes up as.
Yeah, and if you try to do a 30-second draft, it takes a long time for those to fill. So you might as well just do the 20 seconds.
That's a good point because you have to manually select the 30-second one. And honestly, if you're doing a fast draft, then why would you go for 30? Just do the 20. But we're doing the 20. So you guys who are waiting here to get in, let's do it. Go to the lobby, Best Ball Mania, 20 seconds per pick. We're going to jump in the same draft right about now. Oh, mine's already full.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're in different drafts because I have 11 more to start.
All right, well, let me see if I can jump in that one. Yeah. What, 7 more?
Yeah. So you're going to do 2 drafts at a time?
Exactly.
Two 20-second clock drafts at a time. That's
a black belt level.
That is black belt level.
Yeah, honestly, even the just the 20-second draft, sometimes when people aren't waiting the whole time, right? They're picking. It's like you turn around and then you look and it's your turn again. You miss because I did one. I think it was last night, like just because. Actually, no, it was a Schnauzer. I want to try to max out that. And yeah, like I made the mistake of like switching into a different tab to try to do something else while I waited, and sure enough, I almost missed my pick.
Yeah, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready in these 20-second ones. You're gonna be doing 2 drafts and answering questions. That is definitely a black belt level. Definitely. Is there something beyond black belt?
Well, actually, you know what we're looking for here is those black badges. I honestly need to investigate. I just haven't. How do we not have badges with as many drafts as we've done? What does it take to get one of those little shields or badges?
I don't know. I think if you've done over 500 drafts, you get the red shield. I can't imagine we've done less than, but maybe I didn't, it's probably true because I don't do a ton of drafts. like I don't draft a lot outside of when we stream.
Well, yeah, 500. I don't know. I'm sure we're not too far off, but it's possible. Maybe we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Chris in Kentucky is saying wasted. Why? Why wasted?
Yeah, what do you mean? You got stuck on the, you don't like the, maybe he doesn't do the 20, so maybe it's too fast. Maybe he can't. Because I know, like, you know, if you're not sitting there at your computer right now or on your phone, like if you're doing something else, you might not be able to do the 20-second clock, which is why the 8-hour clock is nice.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, once we start ours, I won't keep filling you in here, but interesting in the draft I'm doing right now, Puka just went 5th overall.
Where are you picking? Where are you picking?
I'm at the 7, and so I took Gibbs.
Nice.
And I've been, only reason I didn't take Neighbors because I've been just piling on Neighbors as many picks. Basically anything after number 5, after pick number 5, assuming somebody doesn't fall. Which in this draft, I almost got Saquon went 6th overall, which is weird. Puka went 5th and Saquon went 6th.
Saquon 6th.
I don't know. But, unless something weird like that happens, usually if it's anywhere after pick number 5, I'm just hammering Neighbors. But I have so much Neighbors now, like I got to mix it up. And Gibbs is decent value.
So Chris is saying he's actually in your draft. He's kingpins.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. So look, we're drafting here. You are. Oh, you just picked. He's at the 11. He's on the clock right now, actually. So he took Sun God and Drake London.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
All right, we are full over here. It looks like I get the 2. And you have the 1.
I'm first.
All right, we got 1, 2.
I think this might be, honestly, out of all the drafts, we do the BBMs, of course. We've done the Schnauzers and then the puppies and everything that was before the NFL drafts. I've gotten a lot of number 2 and 3s. I haven't really gotten much of the 1-1.
Yeah, I hardly ever get the 101. But I'll take the 2. Trevor said he's in at the 4.
All right. Very nice. Animal Pants? Is that what that is?
Animal Pants.
Why not?
And this the breaks asking what site this is. This is Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog it is. All right. So yeah, if you don't know, all right. Well, let me not waste any time.
I mean, I have Bijan ranked 2. Let's do it.
Okay, Trevor's at the 4. Yeah, I like the weekly drafts too. I try a little bit of everything, which is probably not the best. It probably makes more sense to just go all in on one contest and have more entries, right? More chances. But I like to try the different ones and see how they vary. Actually, you know what it was? That's what it was. I did last night. The one I did was the puppy, but super flex. So if you guys like super flex drafts, and that's obviously kind of a different animal. No pun intended, but everybody was going insane for quarterbacks. And I mean, like, insane. Like, I get it. You need quarterbacks early, but it was getting ridiculous. Like Trevor Lawrence in the 3rd rounds, like before, like I got AJ Brown, I think in like round 4 or something like that. And I got Gibbs and Achane on top of that.
Yes.
I had to reach to get Cam Ward as my second quarterback and like pick 70 something. So it was a little too far. And I'm not even kidding you. I was sniped, Chris. I'm not kidding. I was sniped on Joe Flacco.
Oh boy!
To tell you something,
things you didn't think you'd say in 2025.
Not only was Joe Flacco taken, he was taken like well before the last round. So, yeah.
Yeah, I try not to do, like you said, I try not to do just like, oh, let me, like, if I'm gonna, I do like the weekly winners format as well. I think I did like 1 or 2 weekly winners format last year. But like you said, I don't like to just do one entry in a tournament like this. So, even though I like those formats, I'm probably not going to do any drafts in those because it's like, am I really going to invest, doing 20, 30 teams in one of those tournaments? Probably not. So I'd rather just stick to the BBM and however many schnauzers I can squeeze in before it fills.
Yeah, and you gave me that idea because you told me it's like it's a 20 entry max and it's only $3, like might as well, right? So I
Right.
thought, oh, that makes sense. Let me try. I'm not really good at actually following through with that because every time there's a new contest, I'm like, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that, and they have so many. But I'm going to try to limit my exposure to the contest and just try to really master one or at least max out one. Whether I master it or not, give me more chances to win that one contest. But if it's something different, like the super flex, like, okay, that's a different thing. I'll do some more of that just to mix it up.
All right. I'm going running back here. We'll see how it works.
Oh, I'm finally on the clock again. Okay.
What was it? A whole minute and a half since your last pick?
Like forever. Okay. Now here's where it gets tricky because I happen to be on the clock in both drafts at the same time.
I did not know you were in on Marvin Harrison.
I am not. I am not. But look, okay, so I like Terry, but I have Terry. This is just mixing it up because I really don't have hardly. In fact, I don't think I have any Marvin Harrison. That might be my first Marvin Harrison, maybe my second. And I have a lot of Devontae Adams, I feel like, and I just took JSN in my other draft. So this is just me trying to, mix it up.
All right, fair.
I'm not completely out on Marvin Harrison, either. I mean, this is what, pick 24. It's right on ADP. So, I mean, I decided I'm going heavy wide receiver here early because it's either Kyron or Chase Brown as my RB1. I'll just wait. So at least if I'm going to get receivers here, a pair of receivers to go with Chase, at least I get the clear number one, the alpha in his offense for both these guys, Harrison and Wilson. Whether they're good offenses, we'll see. But at least the target share is guaranteed.
I mean, I like Harrison. I think he's a great value this year.
The one that is interesting is I could see him becoming more valuable, but you can pick him, I guess, around the same a little bit later. Is JSN, but that would involve trusting Sam Darnold.
He was okay last year. Of course, that was Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. The wide receiver I like the most in that range is the one I took, and that's Terry McLaurin, who was nothing but awesome with Jaden Daniels last year, and the Commanders did nothing of any significance at wide receiver, and yet here he is just chilling in the third round again. Like, why is he just chilling in the third round?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about Debo. Although, did you see? I saw this today.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Debo.
Huh?
I forgot all about Debo, but yeah, I'm not worried about
Debo. Forgot about Debo. Well, they brought in Wes Welker to apparently be like Debo's mentor again because he was there in San Francisco when he had his best season and that worked. So they're trying it again. I don't know if that's like the magic formula, but they're trying it.
That's weird because when I think of Debo Samuel, I do not think of Wes Welker.
No, not exactly the same, but apparently he helped him, and it's funny what I read. It's not just that give him the pointers and whatever, but also keeping him like at his ideal weight and things like that. It's like so really more like a mentor than a coach.
Okay, I'm gonna do something interesting here because I feel very confident you're not gonna do what I need you to not do here.
I'll let you have JD.
Yeah, I feel very confident you will not take JD this early with no stack.
Well, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll take Hurts.
Hurts with no stack. Oh, and then Devonta Smith?
No,
Devonta Smith is gone.
Devonta Smith, I'll stack later. Oh, man. Okay. Panic pick here. There we go. Yeah, I'll just grab Dallas Goddard later, so I have a stack.
I'm really surprised you went Hurts there.
Well,
you don't typically go QB early, especially when those stack.
no, but this is the range where, look, if I'm waiting on running back, do I really need Joe Mixon as my RB1, or do I, I might as well wait. And I love RJ Harvey, but I think the hype's getting a little aggressive in terms of how the ADP is playing out, at least in this format. So, all right. Questions. Eminem, is Kittle worth 4th or 5th round pick? He was right there where I was about to pick, and obviously I passed on him.
I mean, I think he's fine where he's going, but you know my take on this. Like, I'm just probably not drafting George Kittle. I feel like I can just wait later and get different tight ends. Like, I know he was great last year, but a lot of that was because the 49ers, like, Debo was dust, Ayuk was hurt, like they didn't have anybody to throw to. I mean, yeah, I think it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna fault somebody for taking him there, but I don't think you're gonna look back on that pick and, like, to me, taking like a George Kittle or Sam Laporta this year in like round 5, round 6 is just that feeling of like, okay, I have a tight end. Okay, I have a tight end, right? Like, okay, at least I have a tight end, right? It's not like, oh, it's a smash. It's just like, okay, good, I have a tight end, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the relief of like, you have a tight end.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this again. It's easy to forget about Debo after last year. I don't think him leaving means a great deal because basically Pearsall, who was not there most of the season, just kind of steps in and takes his place, right? Target share, I don't think will be much different. If CMC actually plays the whole season, that's not necessarily great for Kittle. I think he is what he is. I think he's fine. But why not wait? And you know what I've been doing? I've been taking a guy who I feel might be pretty much equivalent, like TJ Hawkinson, like a round or two later.
So I mean, like TJ Hawkinson, David Njoku, Mark Andrews, Evan Ingram. I mean, like, yeah, they're not going to all hit, of course. Some of them are going to, Jonnu Smith. These guys are going to miss, but I can just get them later. All right. I can't do it. I can't do it with Olave.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it's too tough.
This is going to be the year Olave smashes.
All right, let's see. Why not? Just double tap rookies.
There you go.
No. All right, finally happened.
What?
Finally, I lost a notch on my black belt. I finally missed a pick in my other draft.
Oh, man. Back down to, what is it, a brown belt, purple belt? What is next?
It would be brown. So, appropriate. Let's talk. Have you seen the Stephon Diggs video?
No. What is the Stephon Diggs video?
It's entertaining. Yeah, so I got autoed Stephon Diggs, who I'm not drafting, but look, now I have a share of Stephon Diggs. I don't ever have to purposely draft him because at least I can say I have one share of Stephon Diggs. Now a lot of people are just saying Stephon Diggs now automatic wide receiver 1 because off-season wins. He was on a boat partying with Cardi B and her friends.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny. Okay, let's see what else we got here. What's up, Ray? Ray's asking if we play any of the marathon. I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever done the marathon. again, I just stick to the ones where I know I can do a decent enough volume in. Because again, I don't want to just have like 1 or 2 entries in a tournament. I mean, look, we've had single entries do well in tournaments before, but it's very tough.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, it sounds like an interesting contest, but that's the thing, is you can pick the one that you like the best and go after it. You got a lot of choices. Mm-hmm. I do like the weeklies. I kind of am fond of the eliminators. I like just the concept of it. It's just a different way of thinking. I did a couple of the Fantasy Cares eliminators, like the celebrity ones. I'll jump in with some of the leagues of some of the guys, like John Lobb. You remember John Lobb, the fantasy scholar. So in one of those, but that's like a whole different scoring format. It's different. Shane, what's up, Shane? Shane questioning a couple rounds back, I took Sutton over Waddle. You're pretty lukewarm on Sutton, but do you like Waddle better?
I'm pretty lukewarm on both. I mean, I think if I had to pick, I would take Sutton because at least I know Sutton is the clear wide receiver 1 in this offense. But I can't really say I love either. I mean, like, my thing with Waddle is tough. Waddle is tough. Because, I mean, I like, it feels like Waddle should be better, but it's like, how long can we keep saying that? And he's not. So, yeah, I'm probably Sutton over Waddle, but I'm really like neither. I mean, again, Sutton's fine. Like in my redraft league, sure, Sutton's fine. But in these tournaments, I need more upside.
Yeah, and that's the thing at that exact stage right there where, again, maybe I probably should have taken Burrow to stack with Chase instead of Hurts, but I already have a couple of Burrow stacks and others. I'll try Hurts. Like Romo Dunze, I like him still. I'm not out on him. I don't know that he'll put up better numbers necessarily than Sutton. I think it's close. Let's see who else got taken there. Zay Flowers, again, a good pick, but is he going to be significantly better than Sutton or Waddle? I don't know. Addison, I feel like it's much riskier. Ridley's the one I know we both like a little bit, but I feel like that was a little early for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like, if it's a redraft league, I might just go Ridley there because I don't care about ADP nearly as much in a redraft league because you only get one shot, right? You get one draft and that's it. But in these where we're going to be doing a lot of drafts, I tend to stick a little closer to ADP. I mean, I'm not like an ADP slave or anything, but I'm not going to reach, a full round on a player in these drafts because I can get Ridley. I've gotten Ridley in other drafts, so why reach in this draft?
Exactly.
Yeah, in a vacuum, I would probably take Ridley over those guys. But again, there's nothing wrong with Sutton, especially in redraft. And I think most of our viewers that ask these questions, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, are asking more for their redraft leagues. So I usually have that mindset in mind when I'm answering the questions. I think in redraft, Sutton is fine, right? It gives you a very high floor, which there's nothing wrong with that in your redraft leagues. It's okay sometimes to have a guy who is never going to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I do like about Sutton in best ball is he did have big weeks because he would have 1 or 2 touchdown games. He has that big playability. He's not a guy who's just going to rely on the target share. I think he could get a little better with Bo Nix, second year. My theory, I guess, in this draft, my MO is I'm getting these alpha receivers. And I'm just going all in on the Broncos pass offense, apparently.
There's nothing wrong with alpha wide receivers.
Nope.
It's not a spot I love.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Hmm. Chris in Kentucky's liking those rookie tight ends late. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, obviously Loveland in a great spot with Ben Johnson, but I mean, man, DJ Moore, Romo Dunze, Luther Burden. I think, Loveland will have some moments. I'm sure Warren in Indy will have some moments, but it's just hard for me to draft any of the Colts pass catchers. Like, I think Pittman is probably okay where he's going. Man, it's just such a bad QB room. Like, in fact, I was looking today because we're in a bunch of dynasty leagues together, you and I, Pierre. Oh, and one of our dynasty leagues, the draft finished up, and I'm like, man, my team is stacked. Like, I have Bijan and Christian McCaffrey at running back. Zay Flowers is like my number 7 wide receiver. Like, I am just absolutely stacked. Except I have Russell Wilson, Aiden O'Connell, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think I drafted Will Howard. Like, my QB room is horrible. So I was looking at your team to see who you had on there, and I saw Anthony Richardson, and I thought about it for a brief second, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to trade for Anthony Richardson, honestly.
I think you do. I'll take a 5th round pick in 2030 for him.
I think I have one of those. Yeah, I was really like, man, I don't even know. Do I want to even trade for him? I don't know. Like,
yeah, he's one of those players that went from you remember, like, his rookie season after he was drafted, I was like all the way out. Like, I know this guy's gonna be a bust. Like, no accuracy, no nothing. And then going into year 2, I bought some of the hype, right? And I was like, oh yeah, but the upside, the rushing, you know what? He'll take a step forward. And so I bought it, right? And I should have known, because you remember, after the NFL draft, like, there's no way. I'm out, completely out. You got to be able to at least complete passes if you want to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, that rushing upside is great, but you have to at least be able to do something through the air. Otherwise, the team's just, you're not like your team. You're not even going to get starts. All right, I better tank Bigsby here, or else I won't get Tank Bigsby.
Man, there are just 0 running backs worth taking here, huh? I'll get a guy you like. I'm just gonna keep loading up at receiver. So I did see, speaking of unwarranted hype, also today, something about Elijah Moore, because he's in Buffalo. Just found that out.
Oh no, don't even tell me.
Looked great. Looked great. What was the word? Stand out. He stood out.
I mean, we should let people know they're wearing shorts and no pads right now. and there's literally no contact.
Yeah, but
yeah, I'm not doing this. No, I don't care. I wonder if I even have any dynasty teams with Elijah Moore. I should check, because if I do, I'm just gonna hope for so much camp buzz that I can just trade him for like a 3rd round pick next year or a 2nd round pick next year or something. Be like, oh, thank goodness.
I actually had just dropped him in one of our dynasty leagues because I we had our rookie draft. I needed the space, and I'm like, who else do I drop? I don't want to drop any of these other players. I let him go. I don't regret that, and I don't think I will. But yeah, I don't see it. Buffalo wide receivers, Kansas City running backs. What else? Positions that are always way overhyped and don't deliver.
Yeah. Bills pass catchers.
Colts quarterbacks.
only Anthony Richardson, though. I don't think I don't think anybody's buying into Daniel Jones. Could be wrong, though. Yeah, I was actually in on Anthony Richardson as a rookie, and he would look great, and then he got hurt. Remember, he had that shoulder injury, and then I was like, okay, year 2, he's healthy, he'll be fine. Nah, it's not fine. Brutal. The only good thing for Anthony Richardson is that his competition is Daniel Jones. So even if he's bad, they might still have to play him. Like, they might not have a choice.
Yeah. It's just so. What's annoying is it's a good system. I mean, they have offensive-minded coach. They have the pieces in place. I mean, they got an elite running back to help the running game. Got talented receivers. Like, it's all there. But you have to actually be able to complete the passes. And yeah, it was brutal. But the thing is, it's probably going to be like the carousel revolving quarterbacks. Every other game a different one, because that's kind of what happened last year, right toward the end of the season. And it's like, you don't want that, because even if you don't know if a guy's going to be good all season, if you don't even know who's going to start at one point ever in the season, you can't do anything with that in fantasy.
Right.
All right, Rico Dowdle, come on down. Yeah, exactly. Justin, interesting question. When was the last time wide receiver 1 followed with a top 5 finish the next year? You mean like the wide receiver 1?
Well, Jefferson didn't finish top 5, but he was top 5 in points per game. He just had that injury. Kupp, the same thing. Kupp, the year after his Triple Crown season, was smashing, and then he got hurt and he missed like the last 7 weeks of the season, so he didn't finish top 5 either. Devontae Adams did it like 3 years in a row, I think. Who is the wide receiver? Who's been the? I'm trying to think who the wide. I'm trying to go back in my mind who the wide receiver ones were. Like, who was the wide receiver? So we had Chase last year, Jefferson the year before, Kupp the year before. Who was before Kupp? This is like going too far back in time.
Oh man.
Was it Tyreek? No, I don't think Tyreek was. I don't think it was Tyreek.
I don't know if Tyreek was ever the number 1.
In 2020, it was
Devontae Adams, probably.
Yeah, it was Adams, and he did it multiple years in a row. Pretty sure he was like top 2. Pretty sure multiple years in a row, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then prior to him, it was Antonio Brown, who did it like 6 years in a row.
Antonio Brown.
Like, no joke. Antonio Brown, 6 years in a row, was a top 2 fantasy wide receiver.
Well, I think Chase, I mean, obviously it's easy to say now, but I think Chase has a pretty good chance.
Yeah, it just comes down to health. Because, again, Jefferson last year would have done it. Or not last year, the year before. Because, I mean, remember, he missed like 5 games and still went over 1,000 yards. It's just he missed 5 games. And Kupp the year. Boy, this is a brutal spot. All right, Slayton, catch some moon balls. Kupp the year before, after doing the Triple Crown, I mean, through the first 9 games or however many before he suffered that season-ending ankle injury, was averaging like 21 points per game. he would have done it too. The real question is, when's the last time the RB1 put up a top 5 running back season? That one, I'm guessing you got to go pretty far back.
Yeah. That I can't even imagine. What, Arian Foster, LaDainian Tomlinson? Maybe not
We're
that.
talking about the RB1 because you think back to RB1s. I mean, obviously Christian McCaffrey 2 years ago, and obviously he did not come close last year. Jonathan Taylor, wasn't it Jonathan Taylor the year before? He was a bust. Who was the RB1 the year? I think McCaffrey might have done it too. Well, technically, I think 1 year McCaffrey was the RB2, and then the next year he was the RB1, I think. Back when he was still with Carolina. That's the tough one. That's because those guys, because in order to be the RB1, you need a lot of touches. You need a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, and everyone's going to keep bringing up Saquon Barkley and his touch from last year. I mean, look, there's always exceptions. It's not like a hard, fast rule, and if we follow the rules that apply to most running backs, Derrick Henry would be dead by now, but he's not. He's still one of the best running backs in the game. So, I'm not going to avoid or fade Barkley because of his touches or anything like that. I think most people aren't either. This one I think is pretty easy. Yeah.
Yep. Poor guy.
Jonathan Brooks. What could have been?
What could have been? What could have been?
I mean, if you have Jonathan Brooks in Dynasty anywhere, you just stash him on IR. Doesn't hurt.
I mean, if you got an IR spot, why not? But like, if you have better players that need the IR spot, no. I mean, it's not good. It's not good when it's May and the team is already saying like he's already out for the year. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And it's not like he's out. Like, it's not like he just suffered an injury. Like, oh, he was working his way back and no, they're just like, there's no chance he can play this year. Like, it's May and we know there's no chance he can play this year. That's not good.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Exactly. All right, we're done. Just like that. It moves even quicker when you're talking. So here we go. You, on your draft, got Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love. Very nice. I know you like not only having JD, but stacking him with Terry, as you saw later on.
Got Jordan Love a cool 20 picks below ADP. What's up with that?
Really?
Yeah, look at that. Pick 146. And I got to stack him with Matthew Golden. It's also nice.
Oh,
and Josh Jacobs.
Okay, well, let's see. You got Bijan and Jacobs. Nice 1-2. And then with Mason Sharps, Bigsby. Do I see Kareem Hunt on your Kareem Hunt? That's got to be your first.
It's got to be it's my first Kareem Hunt. But, you know, somehow this guy is always a thing. Somehow he's always a thing.
Man, I don't even know which Kansas City running back this year is going to be overhyped because there's like 10 of them now, right? Like Kareem Hunt is somehow still there. Pacheco is back, and they drafted a rookie again. And who else? There's somebody else, right?
And you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be like week 11, and we're like, I mean, if you got Kareem Hunt, I guess you got to start Kareem Hunt. He's getting like 15 touches. He can score. What's gonna happen.
Probably
like a yearly tradition at this point. A yearly tradition.
Yeah, if nothing else, he can fall into the end zone a couple times.
Right.
All right. Now, receiver, you got Terry, Pickens, Pearsall, Golden, Rashid Shaheed. Okay, so I thought you were pretty out on Shaheed, but I mean, what? Just if you can do a couple of things late in the season, is that the bet here?
Yeah, that's the bet here. And I got him 10 picks below ADP, and he's the kind of receiver that like can give you those random. He's like a better Darius Slayton,
which was then followed up by Darius Slayton. All right, let's see what you did there. And then you got Jonnu Strange and Chigsy again. Say this, not a slave to ADP, but also not stuck in your ways, because you got to, on this particular team, this draft, I feel like you took several players that you're really not even in on this year, but you're going to take chances here because you don't need them to necessarily be great all year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I took Pickens because he's got him at the Cowboys and Commanders play week 17. Yeah, Kareem Hunt, again, got him below ADP. Yeah, it's a fine team. I don't mind it.
No, don't hate it out. Look, we got another believer here. Lee is in on Kareem Hunt. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just somehow this guy finds a way to be a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So my team, I got hurt, and then I took Knicks. Didn't feel like I needed a third quarterback there. And then
oh, you went extreme zero. You went 0 RB here, I see.
I did. This is a 0 RB team with lots of rookies and lotto tickets. So let's see. Judkins, Caleb Johnson, if they can be RB1 types, Ramondre, Rico, Shipley. I mean, look, I'm not preying on anyone's downfall here with injuries, but if somebody gets injured, like a Jacobs or a Barkley or a Chuba, I'm covered.
Yes.
And then maybe Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is the starter in Washington.
Maybe he's on the team. We'll see.
Maybe. All right. Now here's the strength of the team. It's Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison, Garrett Wilson, Sutton, and then I got Palmer. I like Tillman. I feel like now I've got way too much De'Ami Brown. I don't know, but I like him.
I'm surprised. I'm not really drafting him anymore.
No?
Well, you know, with the addition of Travis Hunter, it's like, I mean, but like, there's probably still room for him. It's almost pick 200.
Yeah, pick 200. I mean, we look at the rest of the list there. It's like him or Tyler Lockett, you know? And then Ingram and Goddard.
All right, you got the Goddard Hurt stacks. There you go.
There you go. Stacking both my tight ends. How about that? All right, guys. Well, there you go. There's another BBM in the books, and we'll do it again. We'll do, or maybe mix it up. You know, maybe we'll do one of those super flex drafts. There are a lot of options. So those you asked earlier, if you haven't tried it yet, there's so many things to choose from on an Underdog. So just sign up, make an account, use code Endgame when you check out. As you see below, you get not only a free pick that you can use right away on anything. It doesn't have to wait till football season or to wait early football pick. You got NBA finals going on. I talked about the extender, another promotion they have going on. Baseball every day, whatever sport you like. Make your pick. You get a free pick and up to $1,000 of bonus cash. So check it all out now. Daniel asking for a summary between full PPR and half PPR. I mean, I don't know if we have the time for that, but I mean, in general, look, Underdog uses half PPR. I feel like it's kind of a happy medium. I know some people don't love half PPR, but I don't think it affects your draft strategy too drastically, does it?
No, not too drastically. No.
So you don't have to worry. That's why I like with Underdog, half PPR, it splits the difference. All right. If you haven't done it yet, turn on notifications so you know next time we will draft live. And if any of you are either baseball fans or just big enough fans of the Fantasy Endgame that you want to check out the baseball stream, we'll see you over there in a few minutes. Fantasy Endgame Baseball for the midweek check-in. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next one.